All right, let's talk this through. Joining us now, Mo Kelly. He's the host of The Mo Kelly Show and The Mo Kelly Experience, radio programs that are in Los Angeles and San Francisco. All right, we see that Trump is doubling down.
Or quadrupling down.
Yeah, and not just when it comes to the entire election process being rigged, but also the polls. Is this a good strategy in the end?
I don't know if he has a strategy to win, but it's a strategy to increase his profile. If you're trying to say that the election is rigged, you're telling your own voters that your vote does not matter. And if you were to tell me that my vote doesn't matter and my candidate can't win because it's already been predetermined, then why in the heck would I actually go out of my way to spend time in line to cast a vote? So if anything, he's suppressing his own vote, not the vote of Hillary Clinton.
It gets people really riled up, though, and it could potentially have the opposite effect, right? I mean, it gets people so angry that you'd think that it might push them towards going, all right, I'm going to get my friends and my family and everybody I can that can vote, and I'm going to get them out to the polls. We got to top this thing.
I don't know if they'll go out to the polls to vote, but they'll get their friends to go out to the polls to police. And what scares me is, what is the likely end result of telling people that our democracy is a fraud, potentially? You heard him in the clip where he was saying that dead people are voting, illegal immigrants are voting, but not providing any evidence. And so if you're going to cast aspersion over the whole, over democracy, that's a very dangerous proposition when so much is riding on any election, much less a presidential one.
And to be fair, there have been some cases that have been brought up that show that there have been people on the rolls that were deceased, that there has been some voter fraud, but it hasn't been widespread. There is no study out there that says this is happening on a large enough scale to actually impact a presidential, especially a presidential election.
Right, but I've said in my ballot already, what happens if I die tomorrow? I'm still going to show up on the roll.
Right.
The function of a voter roll is to say who has been registered, not who has illegally voted. And I don't think people understand the fullness of our process.
All right, let's move on to Hillary Clinton. She's facing some embarrassing revelations that came out in a video that was done by a conservative operative who has been debunked before. But there are some comments said on this video from a Democratic operative who basically says they have been telling people, activists, to go into these Trump rallies and incite either violence or at least unrest inside these rallies. And, you know, Trump for a very long time has been saying this is the Democrats doing this. You're seeing this, and they're doing it on purpose, and they're trying to make us look bad. And now there's some evidence that he may be telling the truth. How much does this hurt Hillary Clinton?
I don't know how much it hurts Hillary Clinton, if only because I believe most people have actually made up their minds at this point. And if you feel that Hillary Clinton is corrupt or is engaging in illegal behavior, this is only going to add to that. It's not going to take away from it. It's not going to change someone's vote or not sway this election. But for me personally, it is disturbing and concerning that quite possibly you had people who were trying to provoke people at Trump rallies. But the question is, was this a top-down directive or was it a bottom-up directive? And that is the key point, which needs to be determined.
Right. There is a question as to who ordered this, or if it was ordered, or was this one or two people kind of doing their own thing, trying to incite people. Let me ask you about some of the things that we have heard from Donald Trump about women. Clearly, some women are disturbed by this. Even if they were going to vote for him, they may have changed their minds. But I want to let you hear from several women who have been watching this campaign since the beginning, which feels like about 2 years ago, and have been following Trump and following the campaign. And here's what they say, even after all the revelations, about why they are voting for Trump.
For me, it's a battle between good and evil. I think Hillary is evil. I think Trump is good. Is he perfect? No.
You literally do pray for him.
Absolutely. I literally get on my knees and I pray that Trump will become the president of this United States. Yes.
Now, the reasoning behind this, it isn't just the good and evil scenario. The reasoning behind this, they said, was that they think that his policies will be in line with their beliefs, and that he, you know, is a person that they don't like what they heard from him, but they like the idea that he sort of policy-wise thinks the way they do. That argument going to sway someone who might be on the fence, a woman in particular?
At this point, it's clear that that argument is not going to sway the multitude of women. More women than not are going to be adversely impacted at the prospect of sexual assault or boasting about it or saying it's locker room talk. We already know that. But there are still those women who are not going to be affected by that. Ultimately, Donald Trump, depending on the poll you read, if you don't believe that they're rigged, is some 7 to 9 points behind. So ultimately, he's going to need more than just a handful of women. He's going to need the majority, or at least a plurality of women, to believe that he is actually not guilty of this, and it's not an issue which is disqualifying in nature.
It speaks to character, and obviously every time there's, especially for presidential candidates, but for generally politicians, character is a big deal.
Absolutely,
as well as policy.
absolutely.
All right, Mo Kelly, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Great to have you on.